I think in today's market, there's a lot of concepts out there, online deal sites. Karl was sharing there's about 150 of them in Singapore alone. F&B, like we know, once you have got a concept going, someone out there will open next to you, copycat. Yeah, so how do you overcome these challenges? Competition.
Okay, I'll speak on Beeconomic. Yeah, Beeconomic, although we were the first group buying site in Singapore, we were only first by like a week. Very quickly, there were 3 or 4 other sites by the second month, and before you know it, there was a new site practically every 2 days coming out, and I'm sure one of you guys were thinking about it too. Now, the way we did it was obviously the first mover advantage was key, so touching as many merchants as possible and signing up deals. That was very key because, and once we sign up a deal, we set up exclusivity clauses, meaning work with us as a long-term partnership so we can bring greater value for you. And that certainly helped us. Although group buying has low barriers to entry, we sort of started setting up these artificial barriers by having these exclusivity partnerships. The second thing I guess we did was we only targeted brands. Yeah? So we tried to position Beeconomic as the one site where you can find all the top brands. And it was very difficult at the start because A, no one had heard of me, no one had heard of Beeconomic, and no one had heard of Groupon. Internet marketing was, very, very weak when I started last year in terms of, you approaching, say, G2000 saying, hey, why don't you come on Beeconomic? You can imagine how many rejections I received. But one thing led to the other. Like, it is a numbers game, so I signed up one pretty good spa called Bliss Spa in Orchard, in Iron Orchard, and then took that experience and approached basically other spas and said, hey, I've got Bliss Spa, would you like to sign up now? And that's how I got the ball rolling, and that's how I got set up all these brands to be featured on Beeconomic. The third thing, I guess, is speed to market and scale. So, and this sort of ties into the VC point as well. I started the website in May of last year, and probably around August, things got really dangerous because a lot of sites were coming out. My $50,000 was running very thin, and we were all fighting for the same tiny market share. So what I identified is you really need to get some funding in here to spend on marketing and grow that subscriber base beyond the size of your competitors. So I started approaching VC funds, and tell you what, VC guys are sharks with very sharp teeth. It's very hard to come to an agreement on a valuation, and what it often means is you shift control to them. And that for an entrepreneur is a very sensitive topic because I had a vision for Beeconomic and where I wanted to take it. So although I entertained discussions with VC funds with the aim of raising funds to grow my site, I also reached out to Groupon as well again, and they were a more feasible partner because they brought in the know-how, the technology, the platform, the global branding.
But I understand that Beeconomics has been bought over by Groupon, right? Are they holding majority stake?
Yeah.
So, in essence, that's surrendering your control as well, right?
I think when they acquire you, they generally want a majority stake. Yeah. But the good thing about Groupon is the partnership made sense. It led to synergies in expertise and experience. If I had just sold out to a VC fund who would just give me a huge amount of capital to grow it, I would one day be competing against Groupon if they acquired a competitor of mine. So I guess I was also held a little bit at ransom. You had to sort of get in bed with the potential competitor rather than oppose it.
Kind of in the same situation at the moment. Several interesting things on the table. To be honest, we haven't come to a conclusion whether we want to surrender control. Because selling out your company majority stake is as good as exiting. You're working for someone. You're no longer an entrepreneur, at least for the next few years. And from the people that we've spoken to, anyone who wants to buy over the majority part of the business wants you to stay with them for 3 years. For the next 3 years, you're guaranteed to be an employee. Interesting. which goes against the very obvious reason why I wanted to start a business in the first place. But yeah, as Karl said, the synergy is what we are assessing. Whether we could really scale and become international is what we are trying to find out for the Chino moment when we decide.
We'll partner up and put you on Groupon all over the world.
Your guys called me. So when you said that your guys only call out the good brands, I agree.
We called Timbre as well.
Sorry, I didn't answer the phone. Okay, in terms of, as you say, you're right, the food and beverage business is very competitive, which is why I first started introducing the company as not a food and beverage business, but a music lifestyle brand. And that was really the case. We might have started as a food and beverage company, but we are definitely not just a food and beverage company. And that is really how we kept ourselves competitive. That's how we kept ourselves as a moving target. Competition is like your competitors looking at you as a target and wanting to shoot you. But if you carry on innovating, diversifying, then it becomes harder and harder to be competed against. Now, diversifying also has its risks. One cannot diversify without relevance. So we said Timbre had to be a music lifestyle brand, and music has to be a focus no matter what we do. So while we diversify from the food and beverage business into a festival business, we went in still with a very strong focus on live music. So the two festivals that we created is called Timbre Rock and Roots, which is every once a year we bring Grammy Award-winning acts to Singapore to perform over 2 nights. So this year we brought people like Bob Dylan, John Legend, multi-Grammy Award winners, which is very difficult for others to actually bring in without the right context. We also then created a more economical festival called BFS Asia, which is the largest beer festival in Southeast Asia. What entertained people at the beer festival was live music. Then we went into education and we set up a music school and had the same musicians that perform at Timbre every single night to actually teach music. So developing our relationship with our stakeholders. At the same time, most of our students today in the music school are actually our customers at the bar. So the other way of ensuring that it's very hard to compete against us is that we actually created a much deeper relationship with our customers, and not just say, sit down, have beer, watch the performances. But today, sit down, have beer. Tomorrow, you might be enjoying one of our outdoor festivals, and the following day, you might be a student in our music school. And the fourth piece of the jigsaw puzzle is now every single week, we have a Music Academy Jam Night where our students, our better students, now become performers at our music bars. So from a customer to a student to being our performer, we have actually created a much deeper relationship with our customers. So today, as a single unit of our business, yes, there is a like-for-like competitor, but as an integrated lifestyle group, we are fairly unique. So it's always ensuring that we are constantly innovating, diversifying, without losing our focus, but creating an entire ecosystem that is ours. Yeah.